We are all Spider-Man. That's what happens when you crack open the multiverse. Given infinite universes, everything must happen. Murphy's Law, or in Britain we'd say Sod's Law, and sometimes the butter side down rule. Murphy's Law states that all that can go wrong will go wrong. When we start to speculate about infinity, though, we get a slightly less pessimistic stance. If there are infinite universes, then everything that can happen must happen. Spider Man into the Spider Verse, by kicking open the door to infinite possibilities, invites us all to imagine that we might be Spider Man. I've asked before why Superman has to be so burly. Why is he a gorgeous 6'4" white man with blue eyes? Why all those muscles? Thing is, no amount of muscle can account for the ability to fly, or to lift continents, or to zoom around the planet so fast it spins time in reverse. Moreover, Superman breaks every law of physics. Most relevant, when he pushes against a train or catches a falling airplane. What's he pushing against? The air? How? His physical strength cannot account for his feats of force. Because of this, his musculature is absurd. We build muscle through resistance. We can lift more than we're capable of lifting and get stronger. Because Superman is infinitely strong, he can never encounter any resistance. Therefore, he cannot build any muscle. It's ridiculous. Spidey started as fairly ordinary, as did Superman, gaining in power through the years until he could punch Hulk in the face so hard Hulk ends up trapped in orbit. But Spider-Man, Peter Parker, was a gangly kid. It's the tiniest bit more explicit that his strength doesn't come strictly from his musculature. The initial explanation, proportional strength, just doesn't hold up under any sort of scrutiny. His power is, ultimately, supernatural, like Superman's. I loved Into the Spider-Verse. It's a tender-hearted story and very inclusive. Great animation, lovely storytelling, even in a medium I don't tend to enjoy, comics, because of persistently disagreeable tropes, such as a hero can save us. Spider-Verse did more than tell a lovely story, though. In opening up the multiverse, it showed us that we're all Spider-Man. Somewhere in the cosmos, given infinity, each of us was bitten by the radioactive spider, and each of us faced the struggle of Peter Parker. Assume responsibility, or fail to act. I could relate to 30-something Peter Parker, failing at relationships, a little depressed, eating pizza in bed. He's got a belly now and can't quite squeeze into the uniform, so he wears the top but zooms around the city with his legs clad in gray sweatpants, the ultimate symbol of a man who's given up at some level. I never could see myself in a super character before. I just don't have the physicality. But here's a guy who, as Parker always did, has normal guy problems. They didn't write in every possible identity. There's a way it could have been done, sure. It could have been more explicit, but they did imply it that out there in the swirling multiverse, everyone could be Spidey. Miles Morales is a multiracial kid. Gwen Stacy is a white girl who watched Peter Parker die. Spider-Ham, Penny Parker, and Spider-Man Noir are just plain weird. Given infinite possibility, though, they're all necessary and they drive home a deeper point. Anything is possible. So, I'm a middle-aged pacifist with objectively a weight problem. And maybe some autism-induced sensitivity. I'd be a weird candidate for spider powers. But not weirder than Penny Parker, the Asian girl from the future who befriends a sentient spider and builds it a mech suit. What's limiting you from seeing yourself in Spider-Man? A disability, a body issue, or merely a body image issue? Race? Sexual orientation? Are you too tall or too small? Spider-Verse calls bullshit on all of that. You'll never be weirder than Spider-Man Noir. So get over it, kid. You're Spider-Man. Wait, Spidey himself is weird and violates the laws of physics? Sit down, Derek. Given an infinite universe, there must be combinations of factors that allow Spider-Man, that necessitate Spider-Man. In fact, As any slice of infinity is infinity, there are infinite such universes, and in some of them, an infinite number of them, it's you. Just accept it. You are Spider-Man. So am I. Like the stranger in The Big Lebowski, I take a small measure of comfort in that. I'm neurodivergent existential psychologist Jason Diaz, and if you like this little chat, consider visiting my website at jasondiazauthor.com.